Welcome to Food and Facilities, an online show for West Coast Industrial Solutions magazine. Our goal is to cultivate knowledge to feed the world by focusing our quarterly trade issues on safety, compliance, and innovation within manufacturing, agriculture, food processing, and food and beverage industries. This episode, we speak with Western Institute of Food Safety and Security, along with UC Davis's School of Veterinary Medicine, about their innovating dairy digester research and what that could mean for the future of energy production. Here's innovating dairy digester research with WIFSS and UC Davis. And here's a video explaining what WIFSS does.
People everywhere deserve to eat safe food and live on a healthy planet. But today, food is the cause of 600 million illnesses each year, 420,000 deaths, 125 of which are children. Safer food and a healthier planet starts with educating people. WIFSS at UC Davis is committed to teaching people about global food safety from the soil to the table. We educate about the link between people, animals, and the environment. This is the philosophy of One Health. Our curriculum empowers individuals and teams with the knowledge to take action. We already hold successful conferences for U.S. government officials, Chinese faculty and students, and local farmers throughout California. Our team of acclaimed researchers and scientists study issues in food safety, from agricultural water quality to plant soil contamination, conducting experiments and publishing their findings regularly. We offer interactive online courses and in-class training, working with researchers and professionals on topics such as on-farm food safety, animal welfare, and disaster preparedness. We also provide a la carte services, working with clients to provide professional promotional videos, marketing materials, and customized websites. Nowhere else will you find such a unique framework that empowers people to affect change. Here at WIFSS, we believe in educating people, because people change the world.
Welcome back to Food and Facilities. That was the introduction video to let you know a little more about WIFSS, Western Institute for Food Safety and Security. And I have guests Chris Brunner and Heather Johnson with me today from WIFSS, and they're going to be talking about what they do. Hi, Chris.
Hi, hello. Hi, Tara.
Morning.
Good morning.
All right, shall we get started?
Sure, go ahead and
All right.
explain a little bit
well,
about
thank you so
WIFSS.
much for having us on your program this morning and giving us a chance to talk about the work that we do at the Western Institute for Food Safety and Security. So as everyone can see from our video that just showed, kind of gives a little snippet of what WIFSS is all about and the important work we do. So let me just share a quick my screen. Well, before I do that, just to kind of give a little background about WIFSS and how we operate. So we are jointly administrated between the School of Veterinary Medicine at UC Davis and the College of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences, two entities that are number one in their field in the United States. And having a joint partnership between those two important schools makes a lot of sense for food safety, because when you think about where our food comes from before it gets to the grocery store, it's either coming from a plant or from an animal. So the College of Ag connects us with scientists that do work from the soil to water to plant health. And then when you look at the School of Veterinary Medicine, you can see where those people would come into play when it comes to taking care of animal health, and also the study of epidemiology and disease spread. So WIFSS, partnering between those two entities, is set in a perfect position to respond and to help research and educate about all things related to food safety, from the farm all the way through to the table. But WIFSS has sort of three major facets to it. So we do research, outreach and training. So we actually have a research facility on campus, and there are veterinarians, laboratory scientists, staff researchers, graduate students, all working on projects related to food quality, food safety, looking a lot at water testing and safety, and pretty much microbial food safety issues. Our current interim director is Dr. Michelle J. Russell. Her work focuses a lot on pathogen survival in the environment. So using biological soil amendments like composted manure, and how to keep that material that could be risky off the food. So in the end, our goal is to keep the poop off the food, because that is the way to keep it safe. And then just preceding her, our former director, Dr. Rob Atwell, looked a lot at water quality safety, also kind of focusing on microbes. So that's the research side of WIFSS. Now, Chris and I, we work on the outreach and training side. So that part of WIFSS is really focused on getting that information that comes from the laboratory, packaging it in a way that's understandable and clear, and using it to train lots of different audiences. So if we don't get it out of the university and into the real world, it doesn't really have that much of an impact. And our current director, the director of outreach, Dr. Benny Osborne, really he's the Dean Emeritus of the School of Veterinary Medicine, and is very passionate about education and training and bringing people together to look at really highly complex problems. And if you're not real familiar with food systems, which honestly, I wasn't until I started working at WIFSS, it is extremely complicated. There are so many moving pieces, so many areas of vulnerability and risk. And it really takes a huge team of experts coming together to, first of all, understand problems that may arise, and then to work as a team to try and formulate solutions to those problems. So our work in outreach is just so critical to bringing people together to talk about those problems. So my background is in education. I was a teacher for a number of years. Then I got a degree from UC Davis in microbiology, so teaching and science. But I also work with graphic designers, web developers, curriculum designers and developers, like Chris, who has a passion and a background in communication, so social media. All of these things come together on the outreach side to get the message out from the university to the people and to the farmers where it makes a difference. So our audiences do include people like the farmers in California, work with dairies. We also work with produce farmers. We do a lot of work with all different facets of agriculture.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so that was the little graphic that shows our 3 branches. Let me move to the next slide here. Yeah, there we go. So again, just kind of this slide kind of demonstrates how important it is to bring people together from all different corners of the university, and also just all different universities in general. So we work a lot with students and faculty from all around the world, and Chris is going to talk a lot about that in a second. But we also work with government agencies and those people who are out in the world enforcing food safety regulations, but also helping support farmers. And we work a lot with industry and supporting them as well. So with that, I'm going to actually stop sharing my screen and kind of pass the ball over to Chris, because she's going to talk about some important.
Okay. And hello, everyone. I'm going to talk about our One Health initiatives at WIFSS. And I'm going to share my screen now. We at WIFSS, we focus our One Health on the global food systems, like Heather was talking about. And so we feel that when the problems that are affecting the food system are addressed through One Health, then there's health for all. And this is the One Health triad. What the triad involves people, animals, and the environment. And a One Health approach is a comprehensive, multidisciplinary, global, collaborative, and a holistic approach to solving a big, complex problem that has to do with the health of people, animals, and the environment. at the interface of those three things. Okay. The One Health WIFSS is in collaboration with Nanjing Agricultural University, Wageningen Research University, and Massey, and we're working on antibiotic resistance and epidemiological approaches to diseases. And some of the things that we're working on, you've heard of African swine fever, you know, decimating 40% of the population of China. Just one example. This is a meeting that was in Wageningen for the first collaborative meeting between Wageningen NAU and Massey University. We are in our 6th year of conducting One Health conferences for faculty and students throughout all of China, because we really feel that to improve the food system, we're trying to educate about a One Health approach. And we start, you know, we plant a seed with the faculty and teachers who will train the trainers who will go out and make the food safe. And the students attending the conference will go on to collaborate with each other and use a One Health approach to solve all kinds of problems. Our conferences have a threefold mission. They are, we raise awareness, we do team building, and we have a call to action. Our raising awareness involves lectures and field trips. And the photos at the bottom here show our visit this winter to the Van Beek Dairy, and Dr. Pandey is going to talk more about that later, but I just wanted to show you those photos of our visit there. The students explore methods in problem solving in addressing real world problems. And for example, E. coli and how it gets into the plants or the food system. Salmonella, Cryptosporidium, greenhouse gases, marine pollution, all kinds of things. When they come to the conference, we divide them up, and the students are from different colleges at NAU, and they've never met each other. And they include, they're from environmental sciences, veterinary science, food science, plant science, engineering, horticulture, agro-grassland science. And they form teams, and they go through team building exercises led by Heather and some other subject matter experts. And through the team building exercises, they learn about taking a multidisciplinary approach. And at the beginning of the conference, they identify a problem that they want to work on. And it could be a food system problem, or it could be something that they're really, really passionate about, like air pollution or greenhouse gases, just a multitude of things. And then as a team, they identify the problem, and then they figure out solutions. On the last day of the conference, they give amazing presentations where they have solved the problem using a One Health approach, and they have a call to action. And they go back and they share the information with their colleagues and try and think of ways to resolve the problem. And one of the things that's really great is in 2015, the very first conference, there were 2 young men that went back to China, and they formed a One Health Club. And it started out with just 2 people, and now it's up to 60. The One Health Club meets together, and they work really hard to address environmental problems. And each year after the students go back. The One Health Club members and the students that have been to the conference have a lunchtime challenge. And the lunchtime challenge involves up to 16 or more lunchtimes when they meet together. And they continue working on the problem they've identified in Davis. And one year in 2018, and Heather was the team captain. She was the facilitator for they were called the Return of the King. And they went back and they decided we're going to have a war on plastics. And they held a lecture that had over 100 people come to the lecture. They had an exhibition out on the street, and they had over 500 people come and sign the banner committing themselves to separate their plastics and their paper and, really commit to working really hard on the problem of plastics. They wrote a letter to the mayor. And if you'll remember in the video that we showed at the beginning, the last slide showed some students holding up a banner. And the voiceover said, "Here at WIFSS, we believe in educating people because people change the world." And we do believe that. And we feel very strongly that, and pleased that the faculty that come to our conferences go back and they, what they've learned to train their students to teach them about One Health. And Heather and other people help train the teachers on different styles of teaching so that they can better get the word out to their students. And I want to close with two quotes from two of the students that have been here that show the impact that we've had. One student said, "Through the One Health experience, I learned to solve difficult academic problems with people from different scientific fields. I learned to cooperate with other professional students in my future study. The program made me love science and scientific research. I want to use my power to create a better world." And Heather, would you like to add anything about working with the faculty and the students, some of the team building or some of the things that we've talked?
I think just to kind of reiterate what you said is that there's such power in when you bring people together. And I've been really impressed with working with all the different teams that we've brought together, that there's so much knowledge contained in each individual. And when we allow them the opportunity and the place where they can work together, it's kind of a corporate term, but there's synergy there. Like, you go so much further when you work as a team and when you bring different perspectives from different disciplines into the same problem solving area. It's just really, really powerful. So that's all I'd add.
Right. And I would like to add that last night, Dr. Osborne, who is the Director of Outreach and our supervisor, he is loved by the students. He's Uncle Benny. And last night, Uncle Benny and I were on the phone for 2 hours with the current Lunchtime Challenge group, who have amazing presentations. They're halfway through. It was a midterm report, and it was very moving. They really grasp One Health, and they are going to change the world. So back to you, Tara.
40, so we probably should segue into Dr. Pandey's research and start the video that you guys helped produce.
Sounds good.
California leads the nation in agricultural production, producing nearly all of the nation's leafy green vegetables, many types of nuts and fruits, and is ranked first in dairy production. What that means is that California also produces a lot of agricultural waste materials, including lots of manure. In fact, 60 million tons each year. Extension-based researchers like Dr. Pramod Pandey at UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine are investigating innovative purposes for all this manure and helping farmers put it to good use. As a faculty member and cooperative extension specialist, he investigates how bacteria that live in manure and prefer a low oxygen environment perform the useful task of converting manure into a renewable fuel source and nutrients for crops. By simply creating a low oxygen environment, we can change all that manure waste into something that is safe and usable. California currently gets over 27% of its energy from renewable resources, like solar, wind, and hydroelectric. Our goal is 50% renewable energy by the year 2030, and 100% by 2045. In fact, California currently invests $1.4 billion into renewable energy and $69 million into dairy digester research and development annually. We are taking steps towards this goal by building a network of dairy digesters, which use bacteria to break down dairy manure and convert it into biogas. Dairy digesters are specially designed low oxygen chambers that contain manure with anaerobic bacteria. This innovative use of the natural processes happening inside generates biogas, which is a valuable renewable fuel. Biogas is mostly made up of methane, which is a very potent greenhouse gas if released into the environment. Capturing and using biogas as a fuel reduces methane emissions, effectively minimizing the carbon footprint of agriculture in California. An added bonus is that the digested manure is a nutrient-rich and inexpensive organic fertilizer that can be used to grow the various crops that make our state famous. The process inside the dairy digester helps reduce the number of harmful bacteria found in manure, making it much safer for use on plants grown for food. When we think about where agriculture has been and where it is going, innovation, efficiency, and environmental sustainability are all hallmarks of our approach in California. People like Dr. Pandey are driving forward research and technology to minimize the impact of agriculture production on the environment. His work improves the economic well-being of farmers and benefits Californians by providing safe, healthy, and nutritious food. While the importance of California's agriculture might be significant, its footprint on the environment doesn't have to be. And it is researchers like Dr. Pramod Pandey who are ensuring that our state leads in discovery and innovation for many harvests to come. At UC Davis School of Veterinary Medicine Cooperative Extension, we help bring science to the citizens of California.
That was the video that Western Institute for Food Safety and Security helped develop to help promote Dr. Pandey's research on the dairy digester, and we have Dr. Pramod Pandey here with us today to discuss that a little more.
Thank you,
Dr.
Tara.
Pandey?
Thank you. So, thank you, Chris and Heather, for a little bit bringing the issue of renewable energy, greenhouse gas emissions, and manure management. So today I will talk a little bit in brief about renewable energy, greenhouse gas reduction, and manure management. But before going to manure management, I will touch the topic of renewable energy. So I will talk about the renewable energy, then greenhouse gas emissions, and manure management. Based on the California Energy Commission's report, California is leading the nation toward a 100% clean future and addressing the issue related with climate change. If you look right side, actually, these are the Senate bills, various Senate bills in 2002, 2011, and 2015, and that provided a goal and also a set of target. So in 2002, we passed SB 1078, and that sets the goal, renewable target 20% by 2017. Then 2011, we have SB21X, which sets the target, renewable target 33% by 2020. And then we have SB350 in 2015, and that sets the goal for 50% by 2030. And in 2018, we have SB100, and that sets the California on a path to 100% renewable energy by 2045. And these are not just hypothetical goals. Majority of the goals we are already achieving, or we are achieving more than the goals which were set before. So we have a long journey. By 2045, the goal is the 100% clean, zero carbon, renewable energy. The first large solar farm was built in about 1989 in Mojave Desert. And right now, we have already got about 33% of renewable energy through different sources. So these are here various renewable sources. So this data is from 2018, but it's a representative data. So we have about 46% of energy is coming, electrical energy is coming from natural gas, and followed by large hydro plants, about 11%. If you look the contribution from renewable energy here, so we have biomass, geothermal, small hydro, and solar plant, wind energy. So solar plants right now, they are contributing about 14%, followed by wind energy about 7%, and then geothermal 5.92%. So in 2018, basically we got about 33% of energy from renewable sources. And if you look back, the goal was that in 2020, we should meet the target of 33%. So we are already meeting these targets. Now, before going to manure management, SB 350 I will talk because that's a very important CNET bill. What is about CNET bill 350? So CNET bill 350 was established in 2015, and that sets the goal for greenhouse gas reduction. And the target was that by 1990, we should reduce 40% greenhouse gas emission below the level of 1990 by 2030. And then 80% below 1990 levels by 2050. And what happened that in 2012, we have a California cap and trade programs, and that was a major policy to lower the GHG emissions. And that includes about 450 businesses responsible for about 85% of greenhouse gas emission. And those must comply with California cap and trade program. And whatever the revenue we are getting from California cap and trade program, it is going to California Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, basically GGRF. So all the money from California cap and trade program is going to GGRF. And California Department of Food and Agriculture, that is using GGRF fund, Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund, to finance two types of manure management programs. And those manure management programs are known. One is a dairy digester research and development program, which you saw the video, and then there is alternative manure management program. And it's interesting that these two programs became very popular in California dairy farms, and most of the farms, they are trying, they have already got the funding from the California Department of Food and Agriculture to implement these two projects. If you look about the dairy farms distribution in California, so this is the left side is the map which shows the density of the dairy cows in California. So if you look at this lesion, so about 27.4% of cattle we have in California, 15.4% are in Merced, 10.4% are in Kings County. To give you a scale idea, so San Bernardino County contributes about 2.5%, and it has 40,000 dairy cows. And Riverside 2.4%, and that has about 39,407. In the right side, if you will look, it shows, let's talk about in the Merced, two counties, Merced and Tulare counties. So in Merced County, basically the cattle population is 550,000. Beef cows are 26,000. Number of dairies are 237. So average number of cows per dairies are 1,127, and the human population are 255,000. So basically almost 2 times. Cattle population is 2 times than human population. If you go on Tulare counties, so the cattle population is about 1 million, beef cows 25,500, and number of dairies are 285. The density of cows are quite a bit higher than Merced, so about 1,701 dairy cows, and human population is 442,000. So basically 2 times of the human populations is as the cattle population. Here, before going into further detail, I would like to explain a little bit how the manure is managed in California. So majority of the farm in California, dairy farm in California, they use the flush system. So this is the dairy barn where the cows are housed, and then they use the water to flush this manure. I'm talking about the left side of the diagram. Then this all flushed manure is stored in the manure pit that has a water and manure. And then manure is lifted from this manure pit into this kind of solid separator. And this solid separator, what it does, it separates the solid and liquid. Liquid goes further into this lagoon system, and the solid goes into this pile system. Now, if right side you see, these are the lagoon size, these lagoons are deep, they are anaerobic. So if we don't have, let's assume this solid liquid separation, so all the solid and volatile solid biomass will come into these lagoons. These lagoons are 10 feet, 12 feet, 15 feet. And under anaerobic conditions, what happens that all these volatile solids, manure solid, it's get degraded, and that produce the greenhouse gas and biogas, basically biomethane. So CDFA, what they are trying to do is cover these lagoons, like in the next slide here. So once we cover these lagoons, all the biomethane produced in those lagoons are captured. And then this biogas or biomethane can be used for electric generation, or that can be also used as a direct fuel like gas. So dairy digester program basically encourages to use the CDFA grant to install this kind of dairy digester to capture the biomethane and utilize that biomethane. And the second program is alternative manure management. And that emphasizes basically that if let's say in a condition where the farmer does not have enough dairy cows, it's a small dairy farm, and he does not have enough capital to manage this dairy digester, then they can use alternative technology, for example, composting, solid liquid separator, and then they can dry that manure. And when you dry the manure, basically it reduces the moisture, and also it reduces the biological activities of the bacteria. And once you have a less moisture, less biological activities, means there will be less greenhouse gas emissions. So these 2 programs from CDFA are very successful, and they have done a lot of changes among the dairy farms and manure management in California. There are a series of digesters in Central Valley, especially in Tulare, Visalia, Merced areas. If you see, starting from Modesto to Bakersfield, about hundreds of these digesters are in the plan. Many already started, and others are going to start very soon. In terms of funding, if you see, so basically dairy digester program started in 2016, and the first year around 8 to 10 digesters were installed. Then in 2017, another program, alternative manure management, also came into picture. So dairy digester, they install about 18 to 20 dairy digester and 20 alternative manure management projects. Then in 2018, about 45 dairy digesters were installed, and about 42 projects were from alternative manure management program. And then we have 2019, about 50 projects are from alternative manure management, and then about same 45 is from dairy digester side. In terms of funding, so you see these are the funding, how year-wise funding went. So in 2016, about $8 million were to $10 million were invested on a dairy digester program. Then in 2017, about 40 million US dollars for dairy digester program and about $20 million for alternative manure management program. In 2018, we have about 80 million, close to $80 million money were given for dairy digester, and then about $45 million, about $35 million were given for alternative manure management program. And as well in 2019 also, we are actually $40 million were given for alternative manure management program and about $70 million for dairy digester program. What it means that this program is increasing year by year. A lot of funding has been given to dairy farmers, and they are implementing these dairy digester programs, alternative manure management program to control the greenhouse gas emissions. So these two programs were basically quite successful. And I think the farmers, they are successfully able to improve their existing manure management to meet the goal of greenhouse gas reductions. So that's what I just want to say. Thank you. Thank you, Tara.
Thank you for sharing, Dr. Pandey. It's especially important when we have 4 cows to every person in California for a lot of counties, and especially since we're trying to meet those energy saving goals.